Welcome to week 2 of the college football season for the Utah Tech Trailblazers. Coverage presented by Sand Hollow Resort. From golf to the grill, live music and events, vacation rentals, Sand Hollow has it all. Learn more at sandhollowresort.com. Well, greetings, salutations, Devin Dixon, Caden Formaster hanging out with you. And the Rebels of UNLV are hosting your Utah Tech Trailblazers. Here we go, Caden. Should be an exciting week 2. What a treat for some of these players from St. George to head down I-15 to Allegiant Air Stadium.
Yeah, it's going to be a treat for sure. We've been talking about it all week, how exciting it is to go in, not only just go on the road for the first time this season, but you're facing an FBS opponent only an hour and a half away, so fans can travel really easily, and you get to play it in an NFL stadium. It's kind of the trifecta of a perfect road game, right? It makes for a really fun atmosphere with some high expectations for sure, because you know that your opponent's going to come in and they're going to be good. It's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, UNLV got off to a great start last week. They got the win. We'll get into that. We'll get to know the opponent in just a second. But let's start with Utah Tech. Home opener, number 4 team in the country, Montana State. Final score was 31-7 if you missed that. And, it was tough offensively. The bright spot certainly was the defense for Coach Lance Anderson.
Yeah, for sure. Lance Anderson putting in the work there for his first game as head coach, right? The defense looked really good. When you look at the comparison between what happened with Montana State against New Mexico and what happened with Montana State against Utah Tech, you realize that Utah Tech's defense really was holding their own just as well as you could say a defense like New Mexico, and that's an FBS defense, right? So when you look at it from that line and you realize they held them, they covered the spread, all that kind of stuff, right? The defense really was a bright spot for sure from this Utah Tech team.
Deacon Hill last week, we anticipate he'll still be the starter. He goes 11-23, 104 yards. But during the Lance Anderson Coaches Show you hear every Tuesday right here on the Fan Sports Network and Trailblazer Sports Vision, Coach Anderson said they're going to continue to have more packages for Reggie Graff. Reggie Graff did get a couple carries, did complete one pass, and so they're going to continue to use the legs and the arm of Reggie Graff. So it'll be interesting to see if there's more packages this week in week 2 for Reggie, because they've got to find a spark for the offense. Let's get to know UNLV a little bit. Great start. They were picked number 2. They went bowling last year, picked number 2 in the Mountain West Conference, and they got a Power 4 win over the University of Houston. Now, we don't know how good Houston's going to be. Only time will tell this season. But that was a very impressive 27-7 win last week. And they really did it with some timely offense. Sluka, their quarterback, threw 2 touchdowns, had 1 interception. Allen carried the ball 10 times for 65 yards. But honestly, it was their defense, the Rebels' defense, that really probably make them number 1 in the Mountain West Power Rankings this week. UNLV was in control start to finish, and the defense was the real story. Their transfers they got in the portal really shined. The secondary played well. Jackson Woodard was a guy that really gets after the quarterback. He's a name to watch, and a 27-7 win to back it up.
Yeah, for sure. I had the opportunity this week. I talked with the voice of UNLV for their football broadcast, and I talked to him about UNLV and this win against Houston. And I said, "What was it? What's the bright spot?" And he said, "Going into the season, I thought for sure it'd be defense." And he's like, "Don't get me wrong, the defense was." He said, "I really was though impressed with the offense because I didn't think there would be as much there as there was." So when you look at the dual threat from Sluka, for example, that's one of those bright spots that UNLV is really happy about. But you're right, it's still the defense for sure. I mean, as happy as they are about their offense and where they're at right now, they still have to be over the moon about what the defense did this last week.
Well, they spoiled Houston coach Willie Fritz's debut. Matt Sluka again threw for 71 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also ran for 59 yards. This guy's a dual threat. Now, that might help Utah Tech, Caden, because Tommy Mellott was a dual threat quarterback, and they just faced him last week in that Montana State Bobcat team.
Yeah, when you really look at it and you realize that this defense now knows what it's like to face a system that really wants to run the ball, and they did a lot, right? They come out in the second half throwing a little bit. They were kind of getting cute, as they were saying. But listen, they went back to the run, and it was successful for them. But here's the thing: Utah Tech found ways to stop it. So if Utah Tech goes into this one knowing that, hey, we're going to see a similar offensive scheme to what we saw with Montana State, then they're going to be all on board. UNLV, though, does run some interesting packages. They'll throw two running backs off to the same side, off the right side, for example, and they'll run a jet sweep with two running back blockers. So there are different setups that maybe they're not used to seeing, different schemes that they're not used to seeing. But overall, defending a run game is still defending a run game.
Yeah, no question about it. We're going to be busy. We've got you here for the next, 25 minutes or so. We're going to hear from a couple Trailblazer players. Caught up with Brevin Hamlin, sophomore safety. Boy, he's been an impact guy the last year plus one game. And then, of course, we got a freshman, Bryce Parker, we're going to chat with when we come back. So we'll hear from a couple Trailblazers, get their reaction on the season opener, and get their excitement level for the game today. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff pregame brought to you by Sport Court of Southern Utah. Devin Dixon, Caden Formaster. Take a break. We'll hear from some Trailblazers when we come back. Then later in the show, Greg Stevens, offensive coordinator. Caden got a chance to go one-on-one with the new OC, so that's coming up as well. Stay with us.
Fabulous Freddy's is the locals' choice for a full-service car wash. It's fast. Have your car washed in just 20 minutes or less. Fabulous Freddy's always keeps it clean inside and out with 2 Southern Utah locations as well as in Vegas, Lehigh, and Sandy.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
When it comes to your child's teeth, Dr. Cody and his experienced staff at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry are game changers. So when it comes to checkups, a toothache, or any problem with your kid's teeth, call experienced veteran Dr. Cody Johnson at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, 628-0511.
Welcome back, everybody. Getting closer to kickoff. Your Utah Tech Trailblazers taking on the UNLV Running Rebels here on a Saturday afternoon. Kickoff 1 o'clock. Mountain Time. Devin Dixon, Caden Formaster. Caden, I'm getting all fired up.
I'm fired up too. We're getting into it. Listen, first road game, a tough opponent today. That always breeds some excitement for sure. I'm ready for it.
Hey, Trailblazer football brought to you by Swinson & Shelley. If you've been in an accident, Swinson & Shelley will fight for you. Get a free, confident consultation 24/7 at swinsonshelley.com. Well, earlier this week, had a chance to catch up with a couple Utah Tech football players. We're going to hear from Brevin Hamlin, sophomore safety, and freshman receiver Bryce Parker. Brevin Hamlin with me here between week 1 against Montana State, getting ready for UNLV. Week 2, here we go. Brev, give us kind of a summary of the defense. That's a good Montana State team you guys lost to on Saturday night.
Yeah, I feel like we came out and battled, and we knew they were going to be a tough, physical opponent, and we still got to do our 111th and fix all of our mistakes, but I feel like there's something to work with our defense.
I felt like a lot of people that left the stadium were commending how hard you guys played. You guys were on the field 45 minutes, offense only on the field a little less than 15 minutes. How you feeling? Recovery time. How's the body feel?
Yeah, body was sore after the game, but we got good treatment. So, I mean, it's coming back, but after a game like that, 100 snaps, the body will feel it. So.
What was the message between now and post game for Coach Monahan and Coach Anderson? What did they tell the defense, and how did it grade out on the film study?
I feel just effort and intensity. Everyone always says, "Oh, you did better than last year," but this is a new year, new coaches. We got to hold ourselves to a higher standard than giving up 31 points. So, just continuing to get better every day, whether that's practice, mentally, film study, anything. You just got to get better every day.
How was it playing in front of that crowd? That was a great crowd, that new student section in the end zone as a player. How'd you like that?
It was nice. It was cool to see the student section was packed and some support out there. And it was, I don't know, it helps us. The more people there, it helps us play. So.
Brevin Hamlin with me here. Utah kid, right?
Yeah.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you ended up at Utah Tech.
So I'm from Syracuse, Utah, northern Utah, and I had a few offers out of high school, but I ended up choosing Utah Tech as my place, and I'm glad I did because I've loved it here. I'm a sophomore, so second season, and I'm ready to ball.
You got some starts as a freshman. Not a lot of people can say that at the Division I level. What are you studying in school?
Business management. So,
okay.
Yeah.
What's that translate to? Do you know job title, job description, what you want to do?
I mean, not entirely. I'll either end up taking over my dad's business. He's a plumber, or I want to start my own like car mechanic garage type of thing. So
Okay.
we're deciding between the two.
So you and Dad spend some time decking out some cars in the garage at home?
More me, he helps a little bit, but yeah.
All right. What's the coolest car you've ever worked on?
Well, my truck, I guess. It's a 95 GMC, so kind of an older truck, but it's been restored, so.
Is it going to any worries about the St. George PD noise ordinance? Are you going to get a ticket for that thing or no?
Well,
You good?
It's actually still in northern Utah.
Well, you gotta
so
get that thing down
I
here.
know. I'm trying to get it down here, but I don't like parking it in the parking lot, so.
Brevin Hamlin. Let's talk UNLV. Offensively, they scored 27 points in that opener last week against Houston. Give us your thoughts on going down to the newest NFL stadium. You're playing at home of the Raiders this Saturday.
I mean, the stadium, it's going to be cool. They're a tough opponent. They like to stretch the field vertically, so we got to stay on top of routes and everything. But it's just another team. We gotta go play our best.
Anything specific you're looking forward to? You know anybody from your hometown or anybody that play? You know anybody on UNLV's team at all?
I do not
Okay.
actually. So.
All right, so you're ready to go knock some heads?
Yeah, my dad is a Raiders fan, so playing in the Raiders stadium is gonna be cool.
There you go. Brevin Hamlin hanging out with us here. Let's let you go, but man, great to chat with you and good luck, and we'll see you on Saturday down there at Legionnaire Stadium.
Yep, sounds good.
Freshman wide receiver Bryce Parker with me here. And Bryce, good to chat with you, man. And first, before we get into the UNLV game, I want to go back to last Saturday's home season opener against Montana State and get your thoughts on a great crowd and a good effort, even though you guys come up short.
Yeah, I feel like given that we're a fresh team, this is our first time actually playing together, and we have a lot of new transfers, a lot of new coaches. So I feel like we're just getting used to being together, and we just got to trust each other, and we're just gonna keep working, and we'll be successful throughout the season.
I know we didn't get to see what you're capable of in the return game. Wasn't a lot of punts from Montana State, not a lot of kick returns to be had, but you've been pretty electric in fall camp, drawing praises from your coaches. Tell us a little bit about your high school career and how you ended up here at Utah Tech.
I started off my high school career my junior year playing for my hometown school, Santiago High School. Did my thing there and then ended up transferring to Inglewood High School. And after transferring, that's when I really started to love the game again and started to get eyes on me. And so performing there at Inglewood, the coaches helped me, guide me through just becoming a better football player, a better athlete. And I got offers from different schools, but my eye was set on Utah Tech. And having a conversation with the coaching staff, they just showed a lot of love to me. And so that's really what brought me here.
Who's Bryce Parker's biggest fan? You got a big family, mom, dad, grandparents, brothers, sisters?
Yeah, my biggest fan, I would probably say, is my grandma. She sadly passed away in 2017, but I know that she's still looking after me, and she's still with me every second, every step of the way. But, yeah, my family goes to every game. So my grandma and my grandpa, they bought season tickets, and so my mom is going to be at every game. My dad's going to try to get to as many games as possible. So I'm going to have family at almost every game. So I just love the support that my family brings to me.
What's been the talk after the Montana State game and the loss where you guys only scored 7 points, didn't get a first down until the fourth quarter? You know, a lot of teams can make a big swing in the adjustment category between week 1 and week 2. Is that what you guys are looking at and focusing on this week?
Yeah, we're just focused on executing, and so we just got to, when it comes down to getting the play calls and understanding what we have on our assignments, that's just all that we just have to worry about is just executing within ourselves. I feel like that we lost that game for ourselves, not they were better than us. So just being better on the execution process and just trusting each other and playing for one another, not just for individual accolades, just playing for each other, that's just going to help us skyrocket throughout this season.
What was it like? You got your first career reception. I know you only had one reception, but take me through that play. Take me through that route.
It was just a little slant across the middle. We drew it up in our game plan. We knew that the backer was going to expand once we motioned the back out the backfield, and so there was just a lot of space. So just running across, catching that ball, and just trying to make something happen. That's just how I play. I just try to get as much as I can.
Tell me about UNLV excitement level playing in the newest stadium in the NFL down there in Las Vegas, the Legionnaire Stadium. That's going to be a big stadium, great venue, a lot of fun for you guys to go play down there.
Yeah, my whole family is going to be out there, so that's going to be exciting. And my father is also a Raider fan, and I'm also a Raider fan, so playing in the Allegiant Stadium is going to be crazy. And last year I went to the Allegiant Stadium a couple times. I have a couple buddies that are on UNLV, so it's going to be awesome playing against them, beating them, and I just can't wait to get out there.
Thanks for the time, buddy. Go get them.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
A lot of fun. Good kids. Good to get to know them a little bit. Brevin Hamlin coming off 8 tackles last week in that game against Montana State. Bryce Parker got his first career catch. Watch for him in the return game. There wasn't a lot of returns, kickoff or punt returns to be had, but watch for him in the game coming up today. He is electric. All right, Caden got a chance to talk with new offensive coordinator Greg Stevens. We'll have that interview right after we come back. Pregame brought to you by Sandhall Resort, Ernie's Stores, Swenson & Shelley, and Sun State Companies on Trailblazer Sports Vision and the Fan Sports Network, your home for Trailblazer football.
Your child's sports journey starts with the City of St. George Recreation. From their first steps on the court or field to becoming a star player, our youth sports programs are here to develop talents and teamwork skills. So get out and play. Check out all the sports and get signed up at sgcityrec.org.
Oh, hello, Italian nightclub from Jimmy John's. Ciao, freshly baked bread piled with Italian-style meats. Hey, hand-sliced veggies. Am I obsessed with this sandwich? Yeah. So what if I am? Jimmy John's. Order online or on the app.
Huge news! Sport Court has a brand new showroom and design center, and it's next level. See why so many are choosing Sport Court here in Southern Utah for top quality basketball, pickleball, and multi-purpose courts. Learn more at sportcourtofsouthernutah.com.
At Great Harvest, we believe in crafting more than just bread. We provide crisp, garden-fresh salads and savory sandwiches. Everything from garden-fresh ingredients to our signature handcrafted bread. Our friendly staff will guide you to find a meal that will leave you craving seconds. At Great Harvest, we truly provide something for everyone. And don't forget our baked goods. Satisfy your sweet tooth and finish your meal with a brownie or cinnamon roll. Come visit us at Great Harvest.
Welcome in, everybody, to our Coordinator's Corner today with the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster here. And today, we get to start things off our first Coordinator's Corner of the season with offensive coordinator, Coach Greg Stevens. Greg, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Good to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you here. Happy to have you here in Southern Utah, first off. Tell me a little bit about your move into here in St. George and in Utah Tech, and tell me what that process was like. Where'd you come from before you were here?
Before I was here, I was at Southeastern Louisiana, and I'd been there for 6 years. But coming to Utah is great for me and my wife. All our 3 kids all live here in Utah, and we both grew up in Utah. So it's been, probably the last, 12, 14 years we've been living in the South. And so it's been a real good move for us.
A little bit different than Utah, isn't it, down there in Louisiana?
Oh, yeah. The weather's a lot different. Nice thing here, no humidity, but
yeah,
it's a lot hotter here.
Yeah. Hey, they love their football down there, though, right?
Oh, yeah, they do. They do. Football is important in the South.
So you say you were from Utah.
Yeah.
Where at in Utah?
I grew up in Ephraim.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, central Utah.
Very nice. Very nice. We love Ephraim. So that's great. I'm a small town guy myself. I grew up in Enterprise, Utah. So,
nice.
So I know what it's like to grow up in a small town in Utah. But we somehow have both found our way here to St. George, which is great. Tell me a little bit about your life growing up and through football. What got you interested in football in the first place?
Well, I played football, since I was a little kid and loved it, and just, I got my degree in business, but love football, and so right out of college I started coaching and been doing it now for 34 years. So kind of part of my life now and family's life, and my kids and wife, no weddings, no babies, and no dying during the football season. So
listen, I understand that because my wife decided she wanted to have a September wedding. So our anniversary is smack dab in the middle of football season. Yep. I know what that's like. So, well, that's awesome. What was it like when you get that phone call, whether it's from, I assume it was maybe from Coach Anderson, to say, hey, you want to come join me here at Utah Tech?
Yeah. So I've been knowing Coach Anderson for, a number of years. He was at Utah State right before I got there. He was in the previous staff, and then we got to know each other, through recruiting and different connections and stuff. And we'd actually visited, back and forth a little bit. And then he told me that he might be getting the job. If he got it, he wanted to know if I wanted to come with him. And, for us, is a no-brainer. Could get us back home and close to our kids. And, I'm excited about what, we can do here at Utah Tech and the opportunity to help this program grow and get it where we want it to be.
So tell me about this team as a whole. You've spent some time now. You've had different camps, and we're now second week into the season. Tell me about this team. How do you feel about the guys that you have on the roster?
I feel good about it. We definitely, in the near future, we got to, keep increasing our depth, get more depth, and we're a real young team. I think last week, going into the game, we only had 3 guys on offense that had ever kind of played in college football. So, and it showed too. We didn't execute very well and stuff. But I'm excited about the guys. They've been working hard. It's been a learning process. Teaching them what we want out of them and what we're expecting, and the type of work ethic and the intensity that we want them to come, bring to practice every day.
So this last week, 26 passing attempts, 14 rushing attempts. Do you feel like there is an emphasis on the passing side of the ball, or do you just feel like, hey, we go with whatever works against the defense that's up against us?
Well, I think we need to be, balanced to be successful, because we're not good enough I don't think, to just line up and jam it down anybody's throat, and I don't think we're good enough to throw it every down. We struggled this past week, and we didn't get first down, so that kind of probably skewed run-to-pass ratio and those type of things a little bit.
For sure, yeah. And again, Montana State was a tough team coming into this. You knew they would be, and did it help at all to have them play a week 0 game? You could get some film on this exact team going into that week 1 game.
Yeah, it helped a little bit, but I think, too, it probably helped them. A lot of times the most improvement you make throughout the season is from game 1 to game 2, and you figure out, who your team is and what they're all about, too. So I think they probably had a little advantage that way, but it was good to be able to see them play. But, they had, I don't know, a number of their starters were back, same staff, all that. So,
yeah.
We knew they probably weren't going to change a whole lot from last year.
Does the NIL and transfer portal, does that new world of things, does it change how you, not necessarily how you coach, but how you get guys into the roster?
Oh, it definitely changes from a recruiting standpoint, especially at the FCS level, because, you have some success here. Kids are going to, get offers that you can't tell them to stay, A great example last year, or 2 years ago, in 2022, we're in the second round of the playoffs, and we lost 8 starters that were freshmen or sophomore to all Power 5 teams, and there's nothing you can do about it because they're paying those kids so much money. You can't tell them not to do it.
Yeah, and that's I understand that completely. At the FCS level, it's a lot of trying to do your best to keep guys that are talented on the roster, but also understanding that they have their lives ahead of them and they want the best opportunities available too. It's definitely a juggle for sure. What does that look like then on a year-to-year basis? I know this is obviously year 1 with Utah Tech.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of kind of reloading every offseason to make sure that the offense is what you want it to be?
Yeah, there's going to have to be. I think, as a coaching staff, it used to be, all right, we have this many scholarships coming up next year. Now you got to recruit well over that, because you got to expect you're going to lose some kids to the portal. And so, you just got to keep restacking a little bit, like, you feel a little bit like at the FCS level, we're almost like a junior college used to be, because the kids are here and they're successful. The bigger schools end up offering them some money and stuff. And it's changed recruiting too. Not only do we got to recruit high school and junior college kids and transfers, but we got to recruit our own players as well on a daily basis.
Absolutely. So UNLV, they went into Houston last week, held them to 38 rushing yards, 209 passing yards. Looking back at that game and seeing what that defense was able to do against a good team like Houston, how do you prepare for that defense coming up on the offensive side?
Well, they're extremely talented. They're veteran defense, experienced. The biggest thing for us is just execution. Last week against Montana State, we didn't have a lot of success offensively, but it all came down to more execution. I think some of that was, experience. Guys were doing things that we hadn't coached them to do. They hadn't been doing all camp. And then, I think they're, a little nervous and stuff and tried to play a little too fast or tried to do too much. And hopefully, with the game under our belt, we'll be able to execute better and perform better. But this is a real good football team we're getting ready to play. It's a better team than we played last week, and we got to come prepared and ready to go.
Give me the name of one person on your roster. You can give me a couple if you want to. That is starting to stand out right now as someone that, as fans, you would say, watch out for that guy.
Well, I would think, Chris Street. I could see Chris Street, really stepping up and having a big week for us. Bio, our left tackle, he's a very talented kid. A local kid here, Eric Olson. I could see Eric Olson really stepping up and start making a bunch of plays for us. Especially now with our other tight end got injured this past week, so we really need Eric to step up and be a big player for us.
Yeah, Eric Olson went to high school just up the road right here from where we're doing the interview
probably
today.
Could throw a rock and hit his house.
He probably could. Coach Greg Stevens, offensive coordinator for Utah Tech Trailblazers. Thank you for joining us today on Coordinator's Corner.
Yep, thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're going to head to a break. We got more for you on the other side. Stick around.
Hey, St. George, this is Brian. I'm the new owner of your local Everbowl. Looking for a delicious, nutritious meal? Come to Everbowl. Our acai bowls are packed with superfoods to fuel your day. And it's where Region 9 sports fans fuel up.
Fabulous Freddy's is the locals' choice for a full-service car wash. It's fast. Have your car washed in just 20 minutes or less. Fabulous Freddy's always keeps it clean inside and out with 2 Southern Utah locations as well as in Vegas, Lehigh, and Sandy.
Can the offense get going? That's the big question today at Allegiant Air Stadium. Devin Dixon, Caden Formaster here, wrapping things up for our portion of the pregame show. In just a bit, we're going to be getting it to Rod Zundel and the guys inside the stadium. But Caden, final thoughts on this one. Huge game, money game, the brand new NFL stadium. What a treat for the guys. But Trailblazers, they want to be competitive in this game. They want to put on a good showing in week 2.
They do, and I feel like coming off of week 1, they know where their strengths are, they know where their weaknesses are, and they're definitely going to put their best foot forward through practice all this last week and work on things. And it's nice to be able to scout your team a little bit. Sure, they have that film from UNLV against Houston, so they know what they're going to do a little bit. But again, heading into this week 2 matchup, I feel like they're going to be a little more ready, a little more prepared. But this is a tough UNLV team. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world for them to go out there and get a win, but that doesn't mean they're not going to go in there and fight.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see. You want to see a lot of fighting the dog, as they say. And look, they could lead SportsCenter. This would probably be one of those upsets that the country would talk about if Utah Tech was able to top UNLV. This is a bold team from last year. This team that's picked second in the Mountain West Conference. This is a team that's went out and got better in the portal, and they're at home, and they're paying you to come play them. So let's not kid ourselves. This helps Utah Tech travel for the rest of the season, pay all the bills, and get down the road. This is a lot more doable travel schedule for the Trailblazers than the last couple years, though, where they've had to go a lot of miles in the air. But this year, a lot less travel. This is just a 3-hour, 4-hour round trip down I-15.
Yeah, easy travel for this away game. And you think about it, you look at it just in the first few weeks. First game, home game. Second game, an away game in Las Vegas. Just about as close as you could be. I mean, SUU is the only university closer, right? So, I mean, outside of that, you're talking travel, easy. You're back at home next week as well. So, for this season, when you look at the travel, the fact that they're home as much as they are is going to pay off well for sure for this team. They're not dealing with the stresses of the travel, and that does play into the game, into a factor for sure. How much, that's probably debatable, but it's for sure a factor.
Real quickly, an X factor for the Trailblazers. If they can keep it close, have a chance to win in the second half, who's got to be the difference maker for Coach Anderson?
Well, that's a tough question. I really do think it's going to come down to the offense. That offense has to get rolling. If it's Deacon Hill still behind center at quarterback, it's probably him. He's got to make the right reads. We saw him use his feet last week. He scored the one and only touchdown on his feet on about a 20-yard run. So maybe he's got to get into doing a little bit more of that. And it's a surprise when he does it, but he can do it. So I know they like to bring in Reggie Graff, though, to get some running game going from the quarterback position as well. But I do think think it's just it goes to the offense for sure.
All right, been a lot of fun. We'll be hosting every week, including the home game next week against Northern Arizona University. Again, our pregame coverage brought to you by Sand Hill Resort, Sport Court of Southern Utah. Appreciate all of our great local partners. For Caden Formaster, I'm Devin Dixon. Let's get it inside Allegiant Air Stadium. Rod Zundel, the voice of the Trailblazers.
Hey, let's go. Let's get it, baby. Hurry out there. 1, 2, 3.
Garrett Fotunik. Ball on the ground. A fumble recovery by Utah Tech. Makes the dive. Can't touchdown. Trailblazers.
Welcome to Trailblazer Kickoff, presented by Camping World of St. George. Your next great outdoor adventure begins under the big American flag.
Hey, let's go. Let's get it, baby. Hurry out there. 1, 2, 3.
Garrett Fotunik. Ball on the ground. A fumble recovery by Utah Tech. Makes the dive. Can't touchdown. Trailblazers.
Welcome to Trailblazer Kickoff, presented by Camping World of St. George. Your next great outdoor adventure begins under the big American flag.
Let's go.
Utah Tech making the short bus ride south to Las Vegas, and they've arrived here at Allegiant Stadium for the first ever meeting with UNLV. We're 30 minutes away from kickoff, the Trailblazers and Rebels.
And welcome inside Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas. We are about 28 minutes away from kickoff. Utah Tech and UNLV. This is the first ever meeting between the Trailblazers and the Rebels, even though we're only an hour and a half away from each other. Hi there, everybody. Rod Zundel along with Ronnie Walker Jr., former Trailblazer running back. And Ronnie, this is the first time that Utah Tech has ever played in an NFL stadium.
Yeah.
They're coming off a loss last week at home against Montana State. UNLV, on the other hand, went into Big 12 country and beat Houston, the Cougars, by a count of 27-7. They're good. They're receiving some first-place votes. But when you look at Utah Tech, what are some of the things that they need to get cleaned up and improve on from Game 1 and Game 2?
First and foremost, they got to get a first down. Last week, they didn't get a first down until the fourth quarter.
1 for 11 in third down conversions for the Trailblazers.
Yeah, another thing that they need to focus on and is taking control of the game. Montana State had 42 minutes in total possession on the ball, and Utah Tech only have 11 minutes, which is not really
tough to get in a rhythm offensively.
Yeah.
If you only get 11 minutes in the whole game, that's quite an incredible stat. All right, we're going to take a look back to last Saturday night, the season opener, the home opener for Utah Tech against Montana State in this edition of Sounds of the Game. 2024 is underway in St. George, Utah.
Let's go. Hey, let's go, boy. Keep your hands up. Let's go.
Straight drop back for Malott. Down goes Tommy Malott. 27-yard attempt blocked by Scooter Jackson. Ball still bouncing around, and there's a massive humanity around the 25-yard line.
That's a big-time momentum shift that the Trailblazers need.
Deacon Hill back in at quarterback, fakes to Chris Street, down the middle, caught by Annie Falai. There you go. Caught down to the 25-yard line. That was Daniel Thomason.
And there goes Big Deacon Hill. That was not expected. Deacon Hill, touchdown! Oh my goodness, where did that come from? So time runs out on the season opener for Utah Tech.
And Ronnie, even though the Utah Tech offense struggled quite a bit last week against Montana State, you got to give credit to the defense. Other than a couple of plays, they didn't break at all. They had Montana State in the red zone twice in the first half. They came away empty. And to do that against a good Montana State team, that shows you a little something about this defense.
Yeah. So, again, all the way to the red zone, and they had two missed field goals. And
one was blocked by Scooter Jackson.
Yeah, which was pretty awesome. And now we just got to go back to the 42 minutes that Montana State held in possession. The defense bent, but they didn't break. But now we need some more contribution from the offense.
Trailblazers got banged up last week. 6 players that contributed a week ago will not play. They're out with either an injury or an illness, and it's all led by the UMass transfer, Eni Falai. Had the longest play of the game in the fourth quarter for the Trailblazers, but a little bit later he went out with an injury. He's going to be out for a while, so they're going to miss him and his athletic ability. Other people's got to step up.
Yeah, so again, they will miss him this game because of his athleticism, him being able to play tight end, run block, and be able to play wide receiver as well.
Besides Falai, Richards, the offensive lineman's out with an injury, a starter. Also, Aaron Holloway, one of the main receivers, he's out as well. And on the defensive side, 2 of the main linebackers are gone. Jared Fotu and Jaron Polu will not play today. So that's 6 contributing members of this Utah Tech Trailblazer team that will not play against a very good UNLV squad.
Yeah, and the thing about it, because they're not playing for like Jared Fotu, they have a backup, Malachi
Fakahua.
Yeah, Fakahua, which was a running back last year for Utah Tech. Now he transitioned over, and now he will get his first start.
First start at linebacker here at Allegiant Stadium. How incredible is that? All right, let's take a look back now at last week's game with Montana State as head coach Lance Anderson takes us through the film session against the Bobcats.
I want to take everyone through our very first series on defense that resulted in a 3-and-out, and that's the way we want to start every game. That's the way we want to start every series, is going 3-and-out, forcing a punt. This first play, Montana State is in what we call a rocket formation, where it's 2-by-2, 2 receivers on each side, and we are in man coverage across the board with a low hole player and a safety in the middle of the field. You can see it's quick game. Quarterback gets rid of the ball real quick. We got great coverage. Scooter Jackson makes a play on the throw, results in like a 5-yard gain, and we bring up 2nd down. So here we've got 2nd and 5, and we're going to bring a man pressure here. And what we're going to do on this man pressure is we're going to blitz an inside linebacker, and he's going to blitz what we say the face of the guard. He'll read the guard and come off his hip. And we're going to try to funnel the football to the other linebacker who is responsible for the back in man coverage. So as we let this play here, you'll see our right inside linebacker, Spencer Rich, is going to blitz the guard. And we're going to try to get this ball funneled to the other inside linebacker, Jared Fotu. So you see Spencer Rich creep up, get ready to blitz the guard. That creates the opening. There's Jared Fotu for the tackle for short gain. You see it really well here from the end zone, where this is exactly what we want, where Spencer Rich blitzes the face of the guard. Guard comes to him, so he's going to take an inside path here. That will funnel the ball right here to Jared Fotu. He makes the play, 2-yard gain, brings up 3rd and 3. Montana State is in a high pass formation where it's 2-by-2, receivers detached on both sides. This time on defense, we are in a match coverage with a free safety in the middle of the field. So try to give a little bit of too high disguise. Now Brevin Hamlin, our safety, rotates down, and now we'll have a safety here in the middle of the field and zone coverage underneath. And as this play develops, you can see here we've got a good bracket or a good double team here on this route. We've got tight coverage everywhere else across the board. And you're going to see we start to get some pass rush here. We got Will Olivow off the edge right here. Fisher Jackson gets a little thick, but then he's able to get outside and contain, and he's actually going to tip this ball. And then we're running a stunt inside where we're twisting our two tackles. But again, the things to look for in the pass rush here, like I mentioned, you're going to see Fisher Jackson get a little thicker on this guy that we would like, but he gets outside to contain. Will Olivow wins on the outside. We got the twist here where we're going to come free late. That forces the quarterback to scramble. Fisher Jackson will tip this ball, and it'll be incomplete. Watch the play to develop. Quarterback gets flushed outside. There's Fisher tipping the football. Results in an incompletion, and we're off the field. There's no better way to start the game, no better way to start a drive than a 3 and out. You see some of the emotion, you see some of the excitement there. That's a great way to start the football game.
All right, Ronnie, a couple things, again, that first and foremost, if the Trailblazers want to stay into this thing, what do they have to clean up, first and foremost?
First, they got to come out with the game with a nice running game. They have the established running game. They only had 8 carries. Last week is not pretty good.
When your quarterback, Deacon Hill, is your leading rusher, that's not a good sign.
Not a good sign. So what?
Reggie Graff, that'd be better, but not Deacon Hill.
Yeah, so what they got to do, they got to go inside their playbook, use every formation that they have, the I formation, the spread, and just find the rhythm. They just have to find that.
Deacon Hill is going to get the start and expect all 3 quarterbacks to play. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will take a look, a little deeper look at UNLV and also go inside the helmet. BYU transfer Fisher Jackson. That's when Trailblazer kickoff comes back to Allegiant Stadium.
D.R. Horton is America's largest home builder, but with a local heart. Nestled just west of the Sand Hollow Recreation Area is a 600-acre master planned community with beautifully designed single-family homes, cottages, and townhomes called Long Valley. Visit us at drhorton.com and join us in continuing the American dream of home ownership and build your next home with D.R. Horton, America's builder.
Experience the magic of southern Utah from the sky and the ground at Confetti Pebbles Hot Air Balloons. They take you on breathtaking journeys across the stunning landscapes of St. George, Hurricane, and beyond. But why just visit when you can live here? Priority First Real Estate is dedicated to helping you find your dream home. Together, they bring you closer to the community, closer to nature, closer to home. Confetti Pebbles Hot Air Balloons and Priority First Real Estate, where adventure meets home.
Hey there, sports fans. Ready to take a timeout from the sidelines and jump into the action? St. George Regional Airport has you covered. Score big with convenient flights that take you from our Red Rocks to destinations around the globe. Whether it's the bright lights of L.A. or an exotic getaway across the Pacific, your adventure starts right here at home. When you're planning that epic getaway, St. George Regional Airport is your home field advantage.
The UNLV marching band out on the field as we are about 16 minutes away from kickoff. Utah Tech and the UNLV Rebels. First ever meeting between these two schools. First time that the Trailblazers have ever played in an NFL stadium. Wow. And it's hard to imagine UNLV is Division II when Utah Tech was Dixie State and junior college and 119 miles apart. They never played.
Well, no, it never played, and it's the first appearance against each other.
Yeah, so, all right, UNLV, they're 1-0. They're receiving votes in the top 25. Probably got their best team in the last 40 years since Randall Cunningham played in a Rebel uniform, and they've got speed. They've got 2 All-American returning receivers. This guy, fastest in the West. He's a return man as well, Jacob DeJesus. He scored 2 touchdowns last week, Ronnie.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, like you said, 2 All-Americans. Ricky White, 88 catches last year for 1,400 yards.
Ricky White is the nation's returning leader in receiving yards from a year ago, and DeJesus is the returning return man, the best in the nation. Then Michael Allen came off the bench, had a big game running the game. They had almost 300 yards rushing against Houston. Their defense, they've got some studs on defense, and a couple All-Americans coming back as well on that side of the ball.
Yep, like you said, with the right receivers, they have a 3 running back head, Jaden Thomas, Michael Allen, and Kalen James.
Jaden Thomas, they call him the Jet, and you know that anybody who's nicknamed the Jet,
pretty fast.
Their defense had 6 sacks against the Houston Cougars last week.
Wow.
On the road against a Big 12 team, 6 sacks, they held them to 38 rushing yards.
Wow, and that's one thing Utah have to take accountable of from last week against Montana State.
And without a starting lineman, your starting tight end, somebody else is going to have to step up. And so you expect Eric Olson, a St. George kid, Jay McEwen, Alec Burton, if they want to go a 3 tight end set, which they want to do, they're going to have to step up. Olson and McEwen each had 1 catch last week. Expect them to be involved in the offense a little bit more as well. All right, time now to go inside the helmet, looking through the face mask. And for that, we go to the BYU freshman, the outside linebacker, Fisher Jackson, as we look through the eyes of Fisher in a practice on the defensive side of the ball.
I'm Fisher Jackson from South Jordan, Utah. Let's go play some ball.
Clip it, Wookie! This is a great song. This is a great song. Come on, sing it. Solid from Africa. Hey! Hey, Marley. It's time to work. It's time to work. Time to work. Hey, Jaden. Oh no. It's hot. I got sweat in my eyes. Got it all clean. Yeah. Hey, this is Mr. Barber right here.
Y'all need it. Right here. Get him right. Cheese, beer, everything. Yeah.
Did I go to the 2? I think I got moved from the back end to the front. Oh wait, that's KY. Yeah. Oh, my brother. Say hi to the camera. Thumbs up. That's a solid response, a thumbs up.
Thanks for coming along for some practice. We'll see you guys soon.
All right, Ronnie, your college football career ended last year, but watching that, you ready to strap them up and go out there?
Yeah, I want to put the 32 back on and go out there one more time. So, yeah.
All right, we're counting down the minutes till kickoff. We have less than 12 minutes till kick. The national anthem here in Legion Stadium. Back with a final word from Coach Anderson after this.
Welcome to St. George Academy,
home of the Dragon Slayers, where academic excellence meets individualized learning right here in Southern Utah. At St. George Academy, we believe in challenging our students with rigorous curriculum, preparing them for a demanding college experience and beyond. And it's all tuition-free. Our unique Pathway University program offers accelerated courses, allowing students to earn college credits in high school. Experience the St. George Academy difference, schedule your tour today, and join us on your educational journey.
Yesco is a proud partner of Trailblazer Sports Vision and Utah Tech Athletics. Yesco specializes in manufacture of custom electric signs and displays. From the smallest to the largest, Yesco can design, manufacture, install, and maintain an identification package that is tailored to your specific needs. Yesco has been serving Utah businesses for well over 100 years with quality signage and exceptional service. To see how Yesco can serve you, go to yesco.com.
Craving something sweet but healthy? Come to Berries and Cream, the original spot for fresh berries in our delicious sweet cream. Locally owned and operated right here in St. George. We offer a cold, refreshing treat that's perfect for the southern Utah climate. Fresh fruit has never tasted so good. Berries and Cream, the original taste of St. George.
And welcome back inside Allegiant Stadium. About ready for kickoff here. Utah Tech and the UNLV Rebels. Rod Zund along with Ronnie Walker back here with you. Time now for the final word from head coach Lance Anderson. Looking back at last week and what he wants to improve on this week against a very good UNLV Rebel team. Here's Coach Anderson.
What are your general thoughts now that you've had time to look at the tape and analyze what happened Saturday?
You know, it really comes down to execution. In all three phases, we have got to execute better regardless of who we're playing.
Caught by Annie Falai. There you go.
I know we played a great opponent last week. We've got another big challenge this week, but we have to execute better. And I think to do that, a lot of it comes down to trusting our technique, trusting what we've been doing for months now, and just relying on our training.
So to execute better, what are you doing in practice specifically to achieve that goal?
We've really made a big emphasis that we have to make practice like the game, and then we've got to be able to carry that over to the game. So really trying to push the guys that, hey, we've got to have great effort, we've got to have great intensity, we've got to finish plays, we've got to have that same focus and concentration we would in the game, trying to make practice just like the game.
Deacon Hill, touchdown! Oh my goodness, where did that come from?
Especially on offense, the numbers weren't good. 1 for 11 third down, that's one key stat. Rushing yardage, kind of the overall, just sustain a drive or two early on.
Exactly, yeah, we need to do a better job on third down, convert those third downs, but in general, we've got to pick up more first downs, we got to run the ball a little bit better, just got to keep the clock moving, keep the chains moving, and try to do a better job of just playing complementary football with offense, defense, and special teams.
A little banged up, you're going to be missing some guys, so how are the other guys getting ready for next man up?
Yeah, guys are going to have to step up, and we've talked about that we've been trying to build depth and give guys a lot of reps in practice to get better. And unfortunately, it looks like there might be a few guys down this week, so there are going to be opportunities for guys to step up.
De Jesus! Wow! Juggled and caught! Oh my!
When you look at UNLV, they're fast. They're physical, but they're a lot faster than Montana State. So that's going to be a thing that you guys are going to have to pay attention to and figure out.
They really do. They've got some speed and on both sides of the ball. I mean, they got some dynamic playmakers on offense that are very fast.
It's Michael Allen rounding the corner.
They got a lot of guys in the secondary on defense, guys at the linebacker level that run very well. So it is a fast, but it is a very physical and big group as well.
Rush ball tipped and intercepted.
You brought this up before. You want to make your biggest improvement from game 1 to game 2. So what are you expecting Saturday?
We really need to see better execution. So on offense, yeah, we need more of the, converting those third downs, picking up first downs, running the football, just better execution in general. Defense, same thing, better with our fits, better with our tackling. On special teams, better with our coverage units. So yes, I'm really looking forward to an improvement in our execution this week.
And how would you describe just the overall attitude of these guys going into this game on Saturday?
I still feel like our attitude is good. I mean, I feel like these guys are really bought in. They want to win. They want to be held accountable. They want to be pushed. They want to be driven. So I think we're in a good place.
All right, Ronnie Walker Jr., final thoughts before we kick this thing off.
For Utah Tech, they have to find the rhythm. Running the ball, passing the ball, they have to find the rhythm and take control of the clock. For UNLV, I would just take advantage of the defense, just run the ball down their throats.
All right, we are moments away from kickoff. First ever meeting, Utah Tech and UNLV. You can listen to this game on the Fan Sports Radio Network. We'll be back here after the game for the post game. So kickoff is coming up next. Trailblazers Rebels on the Fan. See you on the radio.